Okay, now one thing I just went in between things I changed this to tenth of a second instead of quarter of a second, so you can see this is moving a little smoother. The reason I didn't want to change it to bigger steps is you could end up in between here where you couldn't go here or you couldn't go here. It'd be too big a step. So again, it was easier to change that to make it a little speedier. The one thing I want to say now is our method here is all well and good if these are solid color blocks. But if they were photographs or something else where it's not a solid color, what do? You can't call it out by color. The other thing is to call it out by name, like by the sprite. And again, for any of these sprites, you could change it. I could take sprite 4, and instead of saying 4, I could say bottom block or something to give them a meaningful name. So now, instead of going by color, I'm going to show you a way to go by name. This is going to get a little long and ungainly, but follow with me. We have our conditional statement where it's going to test, is this condition true? And we can have in there what they call operators. We can have if certain numbers line up, random things, if things are greater than, equal to, less than, etc. And there's also ands, ors, and nots. These are called Boolean variables for George Boole, a mathematician in the last century. So again, an and statement is if two things are true, such as, I'm a good person if I give you a cookie and ice cream. If I give you a cookie without the ice cream or an ice cream without cookie, I'm not a good person. An or statement, only one of these has to be true. I'm a good person if I give you a cookie or ice cream. If I give you both, it's still fine. It's still true. But if I give you at least one of those, we're good. So we're not going to use an and statement here. We're going to use an or statement. And is all these would have to be true. So I'm going to nest these together. I'm going to kind of make a long block out of them, and they'll expand. So I'm going to say if it's touching the top block, okay, and sprite 2, I have to slide over here, and sprite 3, or I'm sorry, not and, but or. That one already jumped out on me here. So I got to watch these things. And you'll see it gets a little kind of white before you drop it in there. Or the bottom block, and I think actually I got one more statement than I needed. No, I don't need this guy. So bottom block, sprite 2, sprite 3. If any of those are true, then it will do this condition. Okay. And once you have one of these, I would then just make them by duplication. I wouldn't try to keep doing it each time. As I said, there's a placeholder. So again, and then you could just change this to, let's say, -10 and fit those in. So again, those would fit in where our color one is. And this is if this or this or this or that last one, if any of those are true, then carry out this condition. It tests for it. And if it's not, then go on.